Dana cooked, all right? We finally have an International Fight Week main event. Islam Makhachev vacates his 155-pound UFC belt to move up and challenge Jack Della Maddalena later this year at 170. Now, for the vacant, not the interim, for the vacant UFC Lightweight Title, Topuria versus Charles Oliveira at UFC 317. It's just over a month away. Banger fight. This is basically what we all expected, but now that it's official, we're eating good. It's a great time to be alive as a UFC fan, all right? We also have Pantoja, Kai Kara-France co-main event. Cool. Going to be a fun fight. Really sick matchup. We also have some other fights on the card. We have Topuria and Oliveira, Pantoja, Kai Kara-France, but we also have Paulo Costa and Roman Kopylov, a ranked middleweight fight. Beneil Dariush and Renato Moicano, which I was expecting a bigger matchup for Moicano after filling in against Makhachev, but still a fun fight. Janata Deniz and Justin Tafa, nice heavyweight fight. Someone will go to sleep. Brandon Royval and Manel Kape, #1 contenders fight at flyweight, will fight the winner of Pantoja, Kai Kara-France for sure. Jack Hermanson and Gregory Rodriguez, you guys know RoboCop, and Viviane Araujo against Tracy Cortez. Now, I just sat on live stream for 2 hours waiting for Dana to go live, and I'm happy with these announcements. One of the biggest fights that we could get right now, it's not Makhachev Topuria, but it's the next best thing. It's Topuria versus Oliveira, okay? The other fight that was announced, Khamzat versus DDP in August at UFC 319 in Chicago, which means Khamzat Chimaev can fight in the US again. This is huge. Now, we'll talk about that in a sec, but let's talk about these right here. I think that Charles Oliveira is in for probably the hardest fight of his career because he hasn't faced this type of power puncher. I mean, Ilia Topuria has next level, once in a generation punching power at featherweight, and I think it's going to translate to lightweight. Charles Oliveira has fought a lot of big punchers. He's fought the Justin Gaethjes. He's fought the Dustin Poiriers. He fought Islam, who's got some power in his hands. But this is a whole different level of punching power. Now, Ilia Topuria is this elite level grappler, we know, but it's going to get tested against the best submission artist in UFC history. This is the biggest fight in the UFC right now. This is bigger than DDP Khamzat, and because we don't have a Jones Aspinall signed for a date and announced, this is the biggest fight. This is bigger than Islam versus JDM, to be honest, because Topuria is a massive star right now. I feel like they probably still should have made Topuria Makhachev, but Topuria Oliveira, massive fight. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm going to take Topuria by second round KO. I think that Charles Oliveira is going to come out blazing hot, put a hard pressure round on Topuria, and then Topuria is going to KO him in the second round. This fight, I think it's almost for certain going to go to a decision. I mean, it's a flyweight fight. It's a Pantoja fight. It's almost for certain going to go to a decision, but very exciting fight. Solid co-main event for International Fight Week. Pantoja puts on good scraps. They just go to a decision a lot. I'm not saying he's a boring Bilal or Merab type of guy, but he does make it to a lot of decisions. So we have that. I'm going to take Pantoja by decision in this fight. Now, this is the big one aside from Topuria and Oliveira. Dricus Du Plessis, Khamzat Chimaev, UFC 319 in Chicago. Dana pulled whatever strings he had to pull with Donald Trump to get Khamzat Chimaev into the US. I've made videos about this. Khamzat Chimaev has had trouble getting into the US due to the ties that he has with a Russian warlord named Ramzan Kadyrov. I guess they worked it over. It's been smoothed over with the big Trump, all right? Just made a video talking about the lame fights that we have for the next 3 weeks. It's like the Great Depression of MMA. And Dana White seems to be leaving the UFC by the end of this year. But now I'm starting to see a little bit of a shift in direction because we're getting big fights. And especially if we get these two and Jones Aspinall and maybe even a McGregor comeback at the top of 2026, we're going to be eating good. So I'm going to actually, in this fight, I'm actually going to take Dricus Du Plessis because this fight is not it's not a question of if Khamzat beats DDP. It's a matter of does Khamzat beat DDP in the first 7 minutes? Because if he doesn't do that, Dricus is going to whoop on him and probably finish him in round 3 or 4. Khamzat, we've seen fades as the fight goes on. We saw it in the Gilbert Burns fight. We saw it in the Kamaru Usman fight. In the Rob Whittaker fight, he finished him fast enough to where we didn't get to see if that was going to be the case. But Dricus Du Plessis has gone 5 rounds more than once now. He has that gas tank. And he submitted Adesanya. He outstruck Sean Strickland. He's a bulldozer at 185 pounds. He's super strong. And I think he might have the physicality to survive 7, 8, 9 minutes with Khamzat and then get a finish in round 3 or 4. A relatively short video because we kind of expected these fights to happen. We just weren't sure when. But now we have it. Topuria, Oliveira, 317, 318. In between these two is Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier for the BMF. And then 319, we have this right here. 320 is going to be in Mexico. That's probably going to be a big one. 321, that's going to be probably Abu Dhabi in October. 322 is probably going to be Jones Aspinall at Madison Square Garden in November. 323 will be December. That's always in Vegas. So that's like kind of an idea for the rest of our year. We really only have like 3 pay-per-views that we're not sure who's going to headline. So if I had to say what it's going to be right now, it's going to be obviously the ones we just talked about. 316, O'Malley, Dvalishvili. 317, International Fight Week. 318, Holloway, Poirier. 319, Du Plessis, Chimaev. 320 is going to be in September in Mexico. I have no idea who the main event of that's going to be. And then you have 321. You'll probably have a random one thrown in there like a Salt Lake City or something like that in October. Might be Pereira Ankalaev, or you get Pereira Ankalaev in Abu Dhabi, something like that. So that's kind of laying out the rest of our year. Also, at some point, they're going to do Jack Della Maddalena against Islam Makhachev. So that's essentially the rest of our year, and it's all big fights. So let me know what you guys think down below. Who wins between Topuria and Oliveira? Who wins between Du Plessis and Chimaev? And also who wins between Islam and JDM? Like, subscribe, become a channel member, all that good stuff. Let me know your thoughts down below. Did you like this video? Then like and subscribe down below. I also do multiple live streams per week, along with behind the scenes content and members only live streams for our channel members. So become a channel member for access to bonus content. It's only $5 per month and it greatly helps the channel's growth. I also do a podcast with my best friend Bo, and I have a non-MMA channel as well called Wyatt's World. You can check both of those out linked below.